Hello everyone, you're very welcome this afternoon. Just to introduce myself, my name is Linda Young and I am one of the recruitment team here at TU Dublin. I'm also the Deputy Admissions Officer. So thank you very much for joining us. Guys, today we're going to have a bit of a chat about progression and about a specific journey. I'm going to talk to Katie Jackson about her college career, and she's going to tell us how she used the TU Dublin progression system to her advantage and how that all worked out. So guys, this is a really important message for a lot of students out there. There is so many opportunities in terms of coming to third level and in terms of progressing your college career. So I'm just going to have a quick look here for Katie, and we'll have a chat to Katie. So for Katie to come on there, she's just loading in there.
Hello.
Katie, hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
And Katie, I'm just wanting to refer back to your Instagram live post around the Leaving Cert there. It was around when the Leaving Cert grades came out, and I really thought it was such a nice, authentic piece, just telling students about, you know, how there's so many different opportunities. So I wonder, maybe Katie, if you could describe to us a little bit about your journey into TU Dublin.
Yeah, of course. You'll have to excuse, I got braces on the other day, so I'm still trying to get used to them. So I'll try my best. But
No problem.
I suppose I'll go
Sure.
back to the beginning. So I did my Leaving Cert in 2017, and I wasn't really book smart. Like, I really had to apply myself and study hard, and that's what I did. I did give it my best effort, and I studied morning, noon and night, as you're supposed to. And then the Leaving Cert came round, and I suppose the exams kind of went the opposite way for me, and I had studied home ec, business, geography and Spanish. So I kind of suppose my main subject for me was business, because I did business for junior cert. And I knew then after junior cert that I wanted to continue it for Leaving Cert. And then, of course, if anyone here knows, you'd break business down into accounting, economics and market. I think it's general business. So I went for general business, and in that I learned marketing. So that was like my first kind of tester, and to see if marketing was for me. And I absolutely loved it. I excelled really well. I remember my business teacher pulling me aside one day being like, Katie, marketing's for you. And I have a sister who owns her own business, and I've kind of grown up with her, and I've watched her, you know, market her products, and she always says, you know, marketing is the best way to get your product out there. So I was like, yeah, marketing's for me, let's do that. So I did what every student does, and I went and I visited my career guidance teacher. I looked online on CAO, I went to open days, I did all the research, and I came across DT 341, which is what it was at the time when it was DIT.
TU 675 now.
That's it. So I looked at all the information on it, looked at the modules, what it entails, and it was like it was a course made for me. Everything in it was what I wanted, and of course it was a level 8 degree. So I said to my mum, I was like, yeah, okay, this is the one I'm going to go for. And I put it as my first option on my CAO, and I left it at that. I put a few options underneath, but I didn't want any of them. I just wanted DT 341.
You want, right, okay.
So then the Leaving Cert came, and like I said, the exams just went against me. I studied so hard, and I remember my home ec exam, I came home and I bawled my eyes out because everything I studied didn't come up. It was horrible. So I knew then when my results were coming out that I wasn't going to get the points that I wanted. So I kind of just prepared myself, but I didn't prepare myself enough, because when my results came out, I was distraught. I was so upset. And I remember walking home from my school with my two best friends, and they had their results in their hand, and they opened them. And I was so happy for them when they got all the results they wanted. They got their H1s, their H2s. I was thrilled for them, but I knew in my heart, I hadn't opened my envelope yet, I knew that it wasn't going to be the same for me. So I walked home, went into my house, went up to my room, and I said to my parents, no one come near my room. And I went into my room on my own, and I probably shouldn't have done that, because I opened them on my own, and I bawled. I absolutely bawled. And I know this sounds dramatic, but I just remember thinking, like, I worked so hard for it, and it didn't go my way.
Yeah, and I suppose you're so young, Katie, when
Yeah,
you do your leaving cert.
100%.
Like for a lot of students, it's you're totally consumed by it, I
Yeah.
suppose, at the
Yeah,
time.
you
So
are. You're totally consumed
Mhm.
for 2 full years because you're in it in fifth year and you're preparing for that one exam. And I suppose for students
Yes.
who don't excel in exams, it's really hard for them. And I was that student. I don't do well in exams.
Right.
So
Okay.
my parents came into my room then and they said, look, you didn't do you didn't do as well as you thought you would, but you've done it. It's a
Yeah.
milestone, you
Yeah.
finished it, and now we need to think about what's ahead. So we
Right.
were like, we won't think about it for tonight, just go out and enjoy your leaving cert results and go get drunk.
Yeah.
So
Well, there you are.
I did that. I put it out of my head and I just acted like I did what I did well and I got what I wanted. And then, of course, the CAO starts to come out and your results come out. And I knew DT 341 wasn't going to be there. So I think I got Dublin Business School, which is private. And I wasn't prepared for my parents to pay the tuition fees because it's a private school. And I know I didn't want it. I knew I wouldn't be happy in it. So I said to my mum
Yeah.
I was like, what am I going to do? And she was like, and all my friends were actually taking a year out at this stage to work. But I was like, I don't want to work. I want to just go straight for it because I knew if I was to take a year out, I probably wouldn't go back.
Right.
So
Okay.
my mum said one night to me, why don't we look at PLC courses? And we looked online and I think I remember just like going down random and just clicked one and it was like digital marketing, QQI level 5 in Whitehall College of Further Education. And I looked at the modules, looked at, like I said, what it entails, and I liked the sound of it. So I said, okay, it's only a year. And if I get through this and get my QQI level 5 qualification, it will lead me into a level 6 in DIT, which is TU Dublin now. So I said, okay, I'll go at it, do the PLC, and I'll aim really high, and hopefully I'll get a place on DT 303, which is, what is it now?
It's TU 675 and the level 8 is TU 922 now.
Perfect. So that was
675.
That was the one that I was aiming for. So did the year PLC. Okay. And I had to get a 45-minute bus, sometimes an hour of traffic in every day. And I had to do a 15-minute walk. And I did that in the winter every single day because I was so determined to finish this with good grades. And I'm not messing, I'm not boasting. I came out with the highest distinction and I was awarded Student of the Year. I got such a slagging for that.
Wow.
Because I did so well. Like I really applied myself and it worked. It worked in my favor. So then I reapplied back to CAO, put down DT 303 as my first option. And I remember, I think I got it really early in the morning at like 7 in the morning. I remember running into my parents' room like, I got it. And I was screaming the house down because I knew I had my foot in the door then. I was in DIT. So now I had a way to progress into DT 341.
Yes,
so
okay.
Then I went and did DT 303 for 2 years. I just finished that in May. And I absolutely loved it. They were the best 2 years of my life. That course was a dream. It was everything I wanted to do. It was just a level 6. So it was kind of the same stuff as what I'm doing now in the level 8, but it was kind of just, it helped me get there. It helped me learn the terminology. It helped me get to know the lecturers, get to know the college itself. So, and I made really great friends in that course. So then my results came out for my final exams for year 2, which was just gone there in June. And I did really, really well. I got all the results that I wanted. And I knew then, I was like, okay, fingers crossed, I get a shot at DT 341. So then the results came out for that. And I remember like my whole body was trembling. And I was in my sister's house. And the results came out and it was like, Katie Jackson, you have been offered a place on year 2/year 3. And I was like, what is that? Like, did I get both places? And then I remember looking at my sister and she was like, oh, what if they've given you year 2 and they didn't mean to put year 3 on it? And I was like, oh my God, I can't handle this. Like, what if they said year 3, but now I only have year 2? So I emailed the woman back and she wasn't writing back to me. So I rang her and she was like, hello. And I was like, hi, this is Katie Jackson. You've just emailed me my entry into level 8 and it says year 2 and 3. And she was like, oh my God, Katie, I'm so sorry. She was like, I'll resend that email now. And I was like, nah, that's it. I'm only after getting year 2. I didn't get year 3. I've worked 3 years for this. And next of all, the email came through and it says, you've been offered a place on year 3. And oh my God, I jumped around the kitchen.
Great
That
news
was
for you,
amazing.
Katie. So basically, you have, by the time you're finished your degree program now, you really have just added one extra
Yeah,
year with your PLC
yeah.
at the start. Um, what do you think, Katie, attracted you most to TU Dublin?
Well, I did a lot of research for the colleges because obviously
Okay.
I was coming from a PLC, so I was like, what are my entries
Yeah.
into a college? And I always wanted DIT from my Leaving Cert because the DT 341, sorry, I'm still quoting the DT courses because I'm not sure if the TU ones,
Right.
but
So it's TU 922 now, yeah.
yeah,
Marketing
yeah,
at level
yeah,
8,
level
TU
8. So
922. Yeah.
that course was the only course I wanted. So I went then and I looked at TU as a college and what it had. So definitely, I mean, I think your slogan is infinite possibilities because the possibilities for work after your degree, like the industry connections that they have. And I think in my higher certificate we had a talk from people who worked in Oracle, I think it was at the time, and they were only after finishing the degree, and their talk to me was like, okay, these are guys who were in a marketing company, and they're now like junior marketing execs, and that's what I want to do. So if they can do it, I can do it. So it was definitely the
Right.
industry connections that TU Dublin have. And another thing also was the smaller class sizes, because I was coming
Right.
from school, and then I went to a PLC which only had like 7 people in it, and it was small classes.
Okay.
So the connection that you have with your lecturers in TU Dublin is also another great benefit, because you get to kind of know them, they know you, and it's not as, you know, daunting as being in a room, say, in another college with 300 people. So it was definitely the
Yeah.
smaller class sizes, because I feel like you've a better advantage and you've probably a better chance of, you know, excelling, because you can have that talk with your lecturer, or email them if you have a problem.
Yeah.
And then I suppose the internships and the work placements that TU Dublin
Okay.
provide. So I don't get to go on a work placement or an internship this year because I came from the level 6. But I know there's people in my course now who are gone on them and they're really enjoying it. So there's definitely a lot of
Okay.
opportunities when you finish college, and that's what TU Dublin is great for.
Okay. So you do have that real opportunity to come in at the level that you're ready for
Yeah, 100%.
and progress through. I know that's very valuable to a lot of students. What advice would you give to students, Katie, who are now in their final year? They might be in 5th year, they might be in 6th year, they're thinking about their Leaving Cert, and they're thinking about, you know, what am I going to put down? How am I going to fill out my CAO? All that kind of stuff. Do you have any advice for those students?
Well, yeah, 100%. I think that's what students got from my talk when I came on my Instagram stories a few weeks ago when I got my results. I had so many messages from students who had said, thank you for this. Thank you for being honest about your progression level, that you didn't just come straight from your Leaving Cert. And I suppose I kind of was thinking to myself, will I come on stories and talk about that? Because am I like, will that look like, oh, it took her 3 years to get there? Like, you know, I came from a level 5 to a level 6 then to an 8. Like, oh, why didn't you just go straight to the level 8? So I suppose I was kind of a little bit maybe embarrassed is the word to use. And then I thought to myself, I was like, what are you embarrassed about? Like, you've gotten to where you are, and you've gotten there because you've worked hard. So I wanted to share that with students, to let them know that there's always a back door. You can go straight from your Leaving Cert to your level 8, and that's great if you do. Fair play to you if you get your points. But to the students, and especially this year with the predicted grades, if you didn't get what you were hoping for and you didn't get the opportunity to do your actual Leaving Cert, then don't worry. Don't feel like that's it, college isn't for you then. There are so many different paths and roads that you can take. And take my story for an example, my path. I am now in the course that I've always wanted to do, just by doing, it looks like an extra year, and that's all it was, because the PLC just kind of, and also I suppose the PLC, that in itself, I feel like that's a great way for students to, you know, come out of school and go into the course that they want. And I feel like there's not a lot of talk about PLCs, and I feel like there's not a lot of people that know about them. And I feel like they are something that will work for you if you want to get into college and you just didn't get your points. So I suppose my advice is that always look at the bigger picture. And if you didn't get where you want to go, or you're thinking about your Leaving Cert, and even if you're not sure of what you want to do, just take a step back and go on. There's so many like places where you can go for information. Like I remember when I was in fifth year, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so I went looking at CAO, and then I found the marketing course in DIT, and that's the one that I said I wanted to do. But there's plenty of things, or plenty of places where you can go and find information on the courses. So I suppose the advice is, if you're in Leaving Cert or you're in fifth year, don't feel like you have to just go straight from school to your course. And if you don't get there, then just take a step back and look that there's always backdoor options, and there's always ways around things. Like even for mature students, like when I put those stories up, I had so many messages from people saying, you know, they didn't go to college, and then they had their kids, they had their family, and then they went back to college at 30, and now they have a qualification as a nurse or as a business student, or you know. And I was like, wow, like that's amazing for you to step back and go at your life, and then come back into the industry and come back into college. So
and I suppose that's a big feature at TU Dublin as well. Like, it is about lifelong learning. I'm a lifelong learner myself. So I mean, to just kind of get that message across to students, particularly Leaving Cert students who are putting so much pressure on themselves that they need to get X amount of points. Guys, there's lots of different ways to do it. The QQI route, or the PLC route as it's also called, is a fantastic way, if you don't get the points, to get into TU Dublin and get to do, you know, what you want. And some of the most successful students that we have in TU Dublin have come in via PLC, you know, to study whatever they want. If you really love something, Katie, you obviously love marketing. You know, I can see you as a real marketer. You know, you have the personality, and like sometimes you just need to go in a little bit of a roundabout fashion to come in and do what you really want. And if you don't do well in your Leaving Cert, I know it's disappointing, and to hear you say that, Katie, that you were so disappointed and you were so upset. And you know, I want students to know that there's something for everybody at TU Dublin, and if that means that you have to take an extra year maybe and go to do a PLC, PLCs prepare students so well 100%. For coming into third level. You know, you get to understand what it's like to, you know, study on your own and have that you know, space where you're wearing your own clothes into college every day, and you know, you have your assignments set for you, and it really gets you used to that. 100%. So students that go through that route are really ready when they come to college. And you know,
you'll probably find that students who come from PLCs will do the best, because when I came from the PLC, I was like, okay, Katie, you know, you're in it now, you have to work hard. And I worked so hard because I had got there. So I felt like, because I went in the roundabout way, I appreciated where I was more, and I put in more work and more effort, you know?
Yes. Guys, just remember, you can send us in a couple of questions there if you want, because we are going to take questions now. And I have a couple in already, Katie, for you. So maybe we'll just fire ahead with these.
Go for it.
So the first question is, how did you find TU 675, which is the 2-year higher certificate? How did you find the work?
Absolutely loved it. Like, I mean, when I was in my first year, I think there was about 70 of us, and there was a few people who dropped out, and who, you know, were like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. And then I could see people were dropping out around me, but I knew from like a week of doing it that this is what I wanted. And I had in first year, semester 1, I had a general marketing module, and the lecturer that I had, I think, is Aileen Kennedy. Does that name ring a bell to you?
I know there's so many lecturers in TU Dublin, but I mean, they're all so good.
Yeah, well, she was my marketing lecturer, and I remember being like, I absolutely adored this course. Like, everything she taught, I remember sitting there with my notepad, like a first year student, so excited to learn, because everything she was saying, I was like, this is what I want to do. And then it just got better, and the modules just got more interesting. And I suppose the modules that I did in DT 303, which is the higher certificate, really prepared me for the level 8, because I'm kind of doing the same stuff. They've just, you know, they've labeled it different, or they've added more content, or your assignment is different. But I still have a general idea of the stuff. But overall, the higher certificate was the best 2 years of my life. I met amazing friends who I'm now in the certificate with, or who I'm in the degree with, and I still keep in contact with the ones who I'm not. And it's a great starter for someone who wants to go into a course. Like, so if I say didn't enjoy that higher certificate, I knew I would have stepped back then and wouldn't have gone for the degree. So it kind of started me off and gave me, you know, put my foot in the door and gave me a tester of what the degree was going to be like. But I'd highly recommend the higher certificate. It was great.
Yeah, and I think, like, again, you knew, Katie, all along that you really wanted to do that level 8, that you wanted to get a degree program. There's as many students out there that probably don't want to commit to 4 years in college,
100%.
and at least coming in and doing like a higher certificate gives you the option either way to say, okay, I want to progress on, or guess what, I want to go off working for a few years and then I'm going to come back later on maybe and you know, and finish out. I have another question in here for you, Katie. How was the level 8 course in comparison to the level 6? Do you find it much harder?
So I'm only in the level 8 about 4. I think I'm going into my 5th week next week. So, and of course it's a lot different because it's online now. It's not the same as what the higher certificate was in an actual hall with other people and, you know, listening to the lecture. So in terms of the comparison, it's definitely a big step up. I mean, I know I'm saying that the modules are kind of similar and the assignments are kind of similar and stuff, but it's definitely, it's like going from junior cert to leaving cert. It's a broader, it's just more complicated, and you know, you have to kind of look at things in more detail, and like I'm kind of sitting here like I could be looking at the assignment and I'm like, okay, I need to start this now instead of in 2 weeks because I need to do a little bit more, I need to give a little bit more because I'm in a level 8 now, if you get me. So it's similar in one sense, but in another way it's definitely more serious, and it's like I have to up my game now and I have to, you know, try a little bit harder and do a little bit more instead of just, you know, kind of sailing along.
Yeah, but you feel like you're ready for that now, Katie.
Oh yeah,
I'm
ready for it now because of the higher certificate. Like if I had to come into a level 8 from leaving cert, I probably would have thrown around that I'm dropping out a few times, because I would have been like, whoa, this is a lot. But I definitely feel like because I came from the higher certificate and I progressed into it, I kind of feel a little bit more confident and stronger now about it.
Yeah, and I think that is, you know, certainly the case for a lot of students that might come in at level 6 or level 7. The idea behind them being there is that students are coming in at the level that they are at that particular time. But we've already discussed that people and students mature at different times, and all of a sudden you just move forward really quickly. And again, when you're studying something you really love, you tend to progress really, really well in it. So you know, that is definitely it. I have another student here who has just said that she has what do I have here? I am doing BAM and I'm really enjoying marketing. Is there many career opportunities? So is there many career opportunities, do you think, in marketing?
So she's in BAM, is it, and she's doing marketing?
Yeah, she's doing a bit of marketing as her module.
Yeah, I definitely think there is a lot of career options for marketing. Like, I mean, I'm looking at my sister's company especially, and I'm watching her hire, and I'm looking at the roles that she's looking for, and there's like a full marketing team, and there's like different areas of expertise, but everyone works collectively together in that marketing team. So for me, I kind of wanted to be like, I did digital in my PLC, so I feel like a lot of stuff online, stuff now is moving online, and it's going a lot more digitally, like rather than getting a slip in your post, you're getting it through your email. So I feel like for me, I'd probably go down the digital road, but the actual, you know, general marketing and the old type of marketing is still intact. So I feel like there could be a role for that, and then there could be a role for digital, but there's definitely a lot. It's like a pool, and everyone kind of brings what they have to the team, but there's definitely a lot of different ways that you can take marketing and bring it into the actual job world and the working world.
Yeah, I mean, for example, you know, a lot of people will study marketing and advertising, but work in lots of different areas. I mean, sales, you know, anything to do with pitching, advertising. There's lots of different qualifications. And of course, guys, you have to remember that anybody with a degree qualification or anybody with a third level qualification is really showing that they can put in work and that they can concentrate. So so you can get it, you know, you have all of those cross transferable skills really to work in any area. I have another question in here, and it might be one actually that I can answer. Do level 5 courses need to be relevant to the degree course? Guys, yes, I would say for a lot of the programs at TU Dublin, they would need to be relevant, but we also do accept a lot of students in who, you know, from any QQI program. So I suppose in order for you to check out which program or what the minimum entry requirements are and what QQI program is relevant to your course, you can go onto our website, tudublin.ie/QQI, click on the course that you're interested in, and it will list all of the different QQI programs that are feeders into that particular program. And as I said, some of them will accept any QQI qualifications. So if you want to just have a look on there, you know, that is how you can find out that information. So let me see, do we have any more questions here for you, Katie? Okay, so I have a nice comment from a lady called Carrie here. She was like, Katie, I was in your course in DIT and I dropped out and now I'm stranded in Australia and can't get home. Stay in school, guys. Listen to Katie.
Oh, that's funny.
Listen, guys. Yeah, it is. It is. So, Katie, I'd just like to maybe finish on a question about the social side of college. So how important do you think it is to, you know, the whole social side of college, and how have you engaged in that?
So are you talking about like societies and stuff, or
clubs and societies, and you know, just the whole crack of college and making friends and all that kind of stuff? Have you engaged much in that?
So I haven't engaged in the clubs and societies just because, I mean, there's plenty of clubs and societies in TU Dublin. I feel like they're kind of known for that. And I remember on the first day I was looking at, you know, what I could excel in and what I could go for. And then at the time, I was kind of new to DIT, so I was trying to make friends with people there. And I remember I knew a guy from my PLC, he had come through with me. So I remember the whole day I was just clinging on to him, and I was like, please don't leave. I don't have any other friends. And then through him, we met another group of friends, and we kind of just, you know, clicked, and we spent the whole 2 years together. So I feel like, and I get this a lot when I do a Q&A on my own pages, you know, I'm a college student, I'm a first year, I'm afraid to make friends, or how can I, and especially now with college being online, it's definitely a lot harder, and I feel for the first year students. But I suppose you kind of just have to put yourself out there. And I mean, college is the best years of your life. Like, I know people say school is the best years of your life, but I feel like college, you're older, you're more mature. Like, you hear of people who meet their husbands and their wives in college, or their long-term partners.
You do?
So the social side of college is brilliant. I mean, there's great crack. I remember when I first joined, there was like a TU ball or something, or it was like a night out or something, and we went to it, and I laughed so hard because it was just so funny, because everyone was in the same situation. They were new, they didn't know how to talk to someone. So I feel like the social side is you kind of just have to go for it and enjoy it and push yourself out there. And if you find that there's a society or a club that has an interest, just go and apply. And even if you don't know anyone, that's how you'll make friends. That's how you'll, you know, meet the people that you'll spend the rest of the 2 or 3 or 4 years with. So I really enjoyed DT 303 for that reason, that I now have friends for life. And I'm sure I've already made 2 best friends in the degree already. So I've made like lifelong friends, and I always say to them, like, oh, like, you'll have to come to my baby's christening or my wedding because you're like my lifelong friend now. So college is, yes, you have to, you know, put your head down and study and stuff, but you also can enjoy the social side to it and make friends and make memories and just have a good time, like, have crack.
Yeah. Listen, Katie, it was fantastic to have you on this afternoon. I'm delighted that you could join us, and fantastic to hear your story and your journey so far. Wish you the very best of luck. I'm sure you'll be very, very successful. And thank you very much again.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Soon. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.